Hey guys, I'm the Gamry Cat, and welcome to an ongoing series where we basically try to find the most powerful weapon in Terraria. Episode 10 this is. I finally caught up and realized what episode we're on. Crazy, huh? So this one we're doing a viewer requested video, and I am going to find this guy because he deserves to have his name shouted out, because it is important, because he started this madness. Where is it? There it is. This is a boat. He commented, I have a suggestion. Imp staff versus the Hornet staff. I need to know. This is for you, man. We're doing it. And I have gone over this crazy amount of spreadsheet changes that I have made in another video. That video will be in the description of every future video in case anyone is confused how my spreadsheet works. Essentially, DPS is valuable and is the most valuable stat, and that value is multiplied by another value over here somewhere, really far away. This value right here, and that value is determined by what the item can do. And what that item can do is determined by this. So that's pretty much the incredibly bare bones assessment of what I've done to my spreadsheet. And alright, we have some items to test. So the first thing you're probably wondering is how in the world I'm going to get it to hit these guys. Well, first we have to kill this guy because he's in the way. Get out of here. Okay. So what we're gonna have to do with these is realize these guys have different stats than normal, and their targeting system makes it pretty much impossible to test their DPS in a normal setting. Because usually how you would test something is you would just hit the dummy because you're hitting it with a weapon. But these guys, they don't hit the dummy. They do their own thing. They don't really care. And that's kind of... yeah, it's a good and a bad thing. It means that if you're fighting a boss or like waves of enemies by a bunch of trading dummies, they'll of course target the enemies and you have to worry about them hitting this shit. But there's no way to right click on it, which is how you target things. That's how you target things. So it's like, damn. For those of you who don't know, like I didn't know yesterday, you can mouse over your staff and right click on an enemy and it will target that enemy, and that's what this little that little purple thing is. Really interesting. So weird game mechanics that no one really knows aside, let's get into the stats of these items. And I've decided to go over stats at the beginning of every video. If you're curious about DPS, skip to the timestamp shown at the beginning of the video and on screen as well right now. So we have all these stats here. The only ones you really need to look at are the base damages and how many targets that their projectiles go through. So I've already done 2 recordings of this and both have failed. So I have already a vague idea where the Imp staff stands. I think it's around B tier, and I'm not sure where the Hornet staff is. I'm not sure. I have no idea where it could possibly go. We're gonna have to figure that out in this video. So 21 to 9 is the base damage, and in terms of targets they go through, I don't need to show you anything because it goes through infinite targets, and we can actually sum up all of the stats that one is better than the other right here that are noteworthy. So in terms of damage, obviously Imp staff wins. Projectile passes through this many targets. Imp staff, his fireball will go through an infinite number of targets, while the Hornet stinger will only hit 1. However, the Hornet shoots every half second, while the Imp shoots every second and a half. The Imp staff, his projectile does not work underwater, and his projectile is slightly less wide, because the stinger is pointy. But his projectile will go about 20 blocks further. But the Hornet staff, you could summon the Hornet a little bit faster. But the Imp staff's debuff that it inflicts on contact with his projectile is better. On fire is better than poisoned, because it does 4 damage per second instead of 2. And his debuff duration, however, is 1 second less than the Hornet's. But his debuff damage per second is 4 instead of 2, so the maximum damage down here, I mean, we'll get to that. The debuff DPS over all the targets is Imp favored because not only does his debuff do more damage, he can hit more targets. So if he hits 20 targets, they'll take 80 damage per second. And the maximum DPS is essentially if he hits a target once and then just lets the 5 seconds tick, how much damage will they take? Or the 6 seconds for the poison, how much damage will they take? Well, the Hornet can only hit 1 target, so that will always be 12 for the Hornet. but the Imp Staff, he can hit in any amount of targets. So 1, 3, 5, 10, and 20 targets, doesn't matter. All of them will get burned, and they will all take damage. So 20, 60, 100, 200, and 400. If you had more patience than me and placed 100 targets, the Imp Staff would be able to burn all of them and do 2,000 damage per second. So that's pretty insane. And the ending DPS multiplier for both of them is actually more for the Hornet Staff, because the Imp Staff does not work underwater, and the use time of the item is above 30. So it's not as good in terms of just item multiplier stats. However, a larger base value means that the Imp Staff is going to rank much higher, in my opinion. So now we are actually going to go through the DPS of these items, which are right here. We are going to figure this out. And I've already tested this, which is why the Hornet Staff has some values. But I'll explain to you why this is what it is. Because if you take a look at this, and I think I need to get rid of this guy too. Mouse over this, right click there, click that, and look at this damage it does. Yeah, I'm going to need to retest it, because the damage I found, 10 to 14 per hit, was wrong, because I didn't have the Stardust thing, the armor equipped, and I didn't have my summoning emblem equipped. So I'm going to need to retest all of this. So we're going to need to look at the damage it does to the dummy, not the slimes. So 20, 21, 25. And fun fact, these do not critically strike. I don't know how the fuck this bunny did not die there, but I will grab him and he will be my best friend. So ignore the damage it does to everything but the dummy. So 25 is the highest we've seen, 20 is the lowest we've seen. 25, 26. Keep killing it. 26, 20. 17. No, wait, that might have been on the slime. 20 is the lowest, 26. This guy is like really annoying. He keeps flying above it instead, which I was putting them below here, and he kept shooting through here. He was like sniping the enemy through there, which is really annoying. So I'm gonna go with 20 to 26. I'm not seeing anything lower, but I'll give it some further tests, because why not? Who knows, maybe we're just unlucky. But I don't think we are. I think that's fair. I think 20 to 26 every half second is how much damage it does. So now we need to double it, because it attacks every half second, and this is damage per second. So it can shoot an enemy twice, and this is how much damage it does in 1 second, is double whatever we just found. So 20 to 26 is really 40 to 52. And it can only hit one target, so this information will be put under all of these, because it cannot hit more. I've tested this already, and its hitbox is too small to even like reach to from above. It actually can go between these two. If there's an enemy below, it can snipe through the, like, in between the targets. It's crazy. So because it's only 10 pixels wide, it's such a small hitbox. The fireball is the same, and minions, since they're run by a computer AI, they don't miss their targets. So they're aiming for targets below here. They're usually going to shoot between in some crazy angle that humans will most likely not be able to accomplish. So now we have the Imp Staff. This guy, he shoots every second and a half, so we're going to have to do a different equation. Instead of taking our value and multiplying it, doubling it, we're going to have to take it and multiply it by 0.75, because it is a second and a half. It is 50% more than 1 second. So we're going to have to take that and take 75% of whatever damage we get. So for this, I tested the Imp in the past, but I deleted it because I had to move over anyway, and I accidentally deleted it. But so we're going to, we don't even need to test this on one target, because like with the Hornet, it will never critically strike. So every hit we see is what we're getting. So all we really need to do to find out the range of the damage that the Imp can do is we need to go to 20 and summon an enemy and watch it go through all, and then take a screenshot of the damage it does. So I'm going to right click and then left click and then hit print screen. I did it too early, but I think the second time I clicked it, I saved it. So we can go in here and take a look, ignore all the ones, and just look at this range of damage. 53, 48, 46 is the lowest I'm seeing, 46. Anything lower than 46? Nope, 46 is the lowest. Is 60 the highest? 60 is the highest. 48 to 60 then. Since our values are going to be 48 to 60. 45. I don't know why I said 48. I said I think I was saying 46. There's a 45 around here somewhere. 45 right here. 45 is possible. It's just rare. Maybe we can get a second screenshot and have it do less than 45 damage or more than 60 damage. I'll give it a second test, just because why not? It's worth looking at because that 145 makes me think that there's a possibility. And I was right, 44. Any 61s? I only see 160, so 60 is pretty uncommon as well. So 44 to 60, I'm glad I did a larger sample size. So now we take this 44 to 60, and we multiply that by 0.75 for each value, and we'll have the actual value of the test. 33 to 45 damage per second. 33 to 45 damage per second. This is actually lower damage per second than the Hornet, believe it or not. But this is in one hit, while the Hornets are in two. So these will do less damage overall because they will be reduced by the defense of the enemy. So maybe there's a new stat I need to add to this where it's like damage per shot. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should add damage per shot. Oh, dude. I don't know. I don't know how I would even find that. Like, for most weapons, I could do that, I guess. I mostly don't want to do it just because I'd have to retest all these items and move this all over, and it'd be a pain in the ass. But, like, I can see the value of damage per shot being a thing. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do it when I have more time, but for now, let's just do this. So now that we know the damage it could possibly do per second to one target, all we need to do is multiply that by 3, 5, 10, and 20, and we'll have the actual values. 3 times 33, 99, I believe. Yep, 99, and then times 3. 99 to 135. So against one single target, the Imp Staff is actually beaten in damage per second by the Hornet. Which, like I said, enemies with a high amount of defense will take more damage from the Imp Staff because it's in one hit. God, I'm gonna need to add a new stat. God damn it. I'm so sad, guys. I spent 16 hours in the last 3 days doing this shit. And now I need to change it again. Well, shit. I guess, I mean, I'll go over all the items again. Let's see. No. Item damage per hit. So we got, what did I say? I mean, it doesn't matter what I say, we could just look here. 44 to something, I think is what it was. 44 to 60, yeah. God damn it. I'm gonna have to spend more time on this fucking spreadsheet. Why? And then the Hornet's damage per second was what? I mean, we could just take this and half it. 20 to 26. This test, the Hornet Staff and the Imp Staff have really pushed the boundaries of my spreadsheet. They made me add so much crazy nonsense. I've had to do so much shit already to this spreadsheet. I've actually just spent the 16 hours I've been working on this video has been just on this spreadsheet, updating it so we have more accurate data and as well as more data. So, okay, 5 targets. What do we got? 33 times 5. I actually have no idea what that is. 165. 165 to I forget what we're doing. Oh yeah, 5. 165 to 225. Then we just double that and we get 450. 165 times 2. 330 to 450. That's a lot of damage. This guy can really mess people up if it shoots a lot of them. It's more useful in like stuff like the Goblin Invasion, and so now we need to double that again. 660 and 900. 660 to 900. Okay. So we can see here that the damage in one hit, the imp wins. Damage per second on one target with 0 defense, the Hornet actually wins because it shoots faster. But that's the only test it wins at. Everything else in the entire game, not just DPS, pretty much the imp destroys. Use time of the projectiles is the only thing the Hornet has, but its shots don't do as much damage. Its debuff is worse. The duration of its debuff is better, I guess, but it's gonna do less damage. It doesn't pass through enough targets. It works underwater. That's a thing. It's the width of its projectile is it's 6 pixels wider, which is like half the difference between the copper short sword and the platinum short sword. So that's not really that important, in my opinion. It's just like the only thing it really has is a bigger DPS multiplier, which we can actually find right here in a couple seconds how much value these two items have. You can just take these, copy that, and go over here. And this is how we're going to find the value of these items from now on. Let's fix this, because this is just... God damn it. It's so bad. Okay, so we got true DPS value. So we're going to take... No. But remember that the minions we're testing here, they fight alongside you. They're damage on top of your damage. That's why these stats are so valuable. The Stardust Dragon is going to fucking defeat Meowmere. It's going to completely knock it off its pedestal. So now we go into the range of damage that each of these have. Something like the Frostbrand on top of the Frostbrand, and it just didn't get in your way at all. It's just like it's just like more damage for no reason. And imagine that also lights shit on fire. That's why this is so good, because there's no downside. You summon it, 10 mana, bam, you have more like somebody helping you, and they're just there forever, and they attack slow enough that there's no way in hell that it will ever be a downside. It's just nothing but a plus side. So now we have the Hornet Staff, which I'm not sure how good this guy's gonna be. Like, let's see. We have to go all the way over here to damage. DPS, there's DPS. We just take this and we multiply it along the same path, and the damage of the Hornet Staff looks bad. But is it really? Is it really bad? So why is this so high? Wait, I'm dumb as fuck. I'm so retarded. 260 plus 338. I didn't divide by 2. That's the issue here. 299. So how do these rank? 1495 is right here. It's between these two items. It's better than the stylish scissors. Not as good as the Imp Staff. Does the Imp Staff beat? It destroys the Knight's Edge. The fucking Imp Staff is right below this one, whatever the one above this is. It's between the Palladium Sword and the goddamn Beam Sword. God damn, the Imp Staff is good. Holy shit. Okay, well that's the whole video. The Imp Staff destroys the Hornet Staff completely and utterly. And it even is better than it's better than the Palladium Sword, which you can make in hard mode. Out of hard mode ores, but I suppose that's not too crazy, because the Palladium Sword is really common, or like easy to make once you're in hard mode. It's just weird that something you can make in pre-hard mode is better than something you can get in hard mode. But I suppose that's also not a good argument, because you can make it fairly late into hard mode, or into pre-hard mode. You make it right before you fight the Wall of Flesh when you mine Hellstone. So this is scary. It's scary how good summons are. That's what I'm going to take away from this video, and I hope you do as well. So I will move the Hornet Staff to where it's and the Imp Staff to their proper leaderboard ranking positions. Next video, it shall be the Scourge of the Corruptors versus the Vampire Knives. A viewer also requested this. That's gonna be it for today. If you like numbers and Terraria, and you want to see more Terraria item versus, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified when I upload them in the future. Alright, that was a long fucking video. That was so hard to make. I'm gonna have to retest the damage per hit of each one of these fucking weapons. I don't know how I'm gonna get the Scourge of the Corruptors to hit stuff too, so expect the next video to take a little bit, just like this video took. I'm gonna have to probably add some more crazy shit to this spreadsheet that's going to delay me like crazy. But until then, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.